In this video, I'm going to go over the free fall concepts. So a free fall problem is one in which an object is being dropped, or it falls, or it starts with an initial velocity of 0 and it's falling down. These are all free fall basic words that you're going to see in the problem. And in a free fall problem, the only force acting on the object is gravity. And gravity is pulling it towards the Earth. Now here on Earth, that acceleration due to gravity has a very specific number. Now if you change the planets that we're on, that number changes. But for us, that gravity is equal to 9.8 meters per second squared. Okay, so we can say that the acceleration due to gravity is 9.8 meters per second squared in a free fall problem. This is such a special number that it is often given just the letter G, because gravity is just so special. It's why we can exist here on Earth. It's one of the many reasons. And if an object is falling towards the Earth, it starts at a 0 meters per second velocity, and it's going to speed up. And it's speeding up in the negative y direction, which will actually make our acceleration negative 9.8 meters per second squared in a free fall problem. Our acceleration never changes. Acceleration is how fast the velocity is changing per second. So the acceleration stays at negative 9.8 meters per second squared. That means it's going to speed up by negative 9.8 meters per second. So this number doesn't change. Our velocity changes, but our acceleration does not. The biggest thing that you have to realize in a free fall concept is first this one, what we just said. This is number one, the biggest thing that you need to know. That acceleration is negative 9.8 meters per second squared in a free fall problem. The second thing that you have got to know is that it is being dropped, or it is falling, or it's at rest to begin with. These keywords mean it's free fall, and these keywords mean that the initial velocity is 0 meters per second. This is huge. If you don't know these two items, solving free fall problems is going to be impossible because you won't have enough givens. So you've got to know these. So again, this is any time, say, an object is being dropped. So this person is standing on top of a cliff. Let's say it's my son Javier, and he's standing up here on the top of this cliff, but you know what? His big sister down here at the bottom made him mad, so he wants to drop a water balloon on her head. So he takes this water balloon and he drops it. This is in free fall because he was holding it. That means my initial velocity is 0, and he lets go. When he lets go, the acceleration due to gravity causes it to speed up. So its final velocity won't be 0 meters per second because it's speeding up, but that acceleration will never change. Given another piece of information in these problems, you can solve for something. You cannot solve a problem with just these two things. You have to be given distance, or you have to be given time, or you have to be given final velocity, and then you're looking for one of the other ones. So in the next video, after you finish this station, I'll go over how to kind of set it up, list all your givens, figure out your unknown, and solve the problem.